Every actor gets a script before they walk onto a stage. The script tells them who they are, how they speak, how they behave, what they are supposed to believe. And for the length of the play, they become that character. But imagine an actor playing the same character for so long that they eventually forget they are acting. They take the character home. They start talking like the character, thinking like the character, living like the character. Until one day, they look in the mirror and say, this is just who I am. But it isn't. It's a role. It's just a role. And I wonder if some of us have done the same thing. You've been performing for so long that you've forgotten you were ever given a script that said you're the disappointment, a script that said you're the one who always gets left out, a script that said you're not good enough, a script that said you have to prove yourself. And you've been performing those lines ever since. But today, the play ends. Nobody sits down as a child and decides, okay, I'm going to become the disappointment. Nobody does that. Someone handed them that role. Someone spoke that thing into them. Maybe you were constantly compared to somebody else. Maybe you became the one who isn't good enough. Maybe you were only celebrated when you performed well. So you became the one who must always prove themselves. Maybe someone you trusted walked away, and somewhere inside you wrote, people always leave me. You didn't consciously write these stories. You absorbed them. And because you've rehearsed them for years, they started feeling like truth. Now, here's the tragedy. You can become incredibly good at performing a role you were never meant to play. And sometimes we keep performing because people reward the character. They praise the strong one. They depend on the quiet one. They celebrate the one who never complains. So even when you are exhausted, you keep smiling. You're keeping the fake smile up because it's what people want out there from you. Even when you need help, you say, I'm fine, because people got comfortable with that version of you. But hear this, their comfort is not your calling, not at all. Let me repeat that. Their comfort is not your calling. You were not created to spend your entire life performing a version of yourself just because people got used to it. Applause is not always approval of who you are. Sometimes it's simply approval of the role you're playing. And eventually you have to ask, if nobody applauded this version of me, would I still be the person that I want to become? Would I still become this person? This is where your story matters. The mirror shows an image. The voice gives you a sentence. But the story gives those things meaning. If your story is, I'm the one who never gets chosen, you may start living before anyone can reject you. If your story is, I have to prove my worth, you may never allow yourself to rest. If your story is, people always disappoint me, you may never allow anyone close enough to prove you wrong. And then something frightening happens. Your life starts producing evidence for the story you already believe. Exactly. Not because the story was destiny, but because you kept making decisions from it. That's why you have to examine the story. Because the story you believe about yourself can become the life you keep creating. And this is where I want to bring in something from scripture that I think is incredibly practical. Romans 12:2 says, just paraphrased, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Notice what that means. Apostle Paul doesn't simply say, try harder. It says, renew your mind simply. Because sometimes your circumstances have changed, but your thinking hasn't. The rejection happened years ago, but you still think like the rejected person. The failure happened once, but you still make decisions like a failure. The season changed, but the story in your mind stayed the same. And that's why transformation begins with renewal. God doesn't just want to change what you do. He wants to change the way you see. He wants to change who you really are. Because when your thinking changes, your choices begins to change. And when your choices change consistently, your life begins to change. So ask yourself, what has what happened to me taught me to believe about myself? And then ask, does that belief still deserve to stay? You're doing some kind of self-awareness or self-examination there. Because not every belief you've carried deserves to come with you into your future. Some beliefs need to be challenged. Some need to be corrected. And some simply need to be left behind. You don't need a new life first. Sometimes what you need is a renewed mind first. Here's what's freeing about a role. No matter how long you've performed it, it was still a role. An actor can walk off the stage, take off the costume and say, that was the character, now this is me. And that's what I want you to understand. You can change, you can grow, you can become someone different from the version of yourself you've been rehearsing for years. You don't have to keep performing a role simply because you've become good at it. You can put the script down. You can throw the pen away and you can start living your own life the way you want to live it. But how do you start? The next time that old story rises up, the story of I always mess things up, nobody wants me here, I have to prove myself, stop and ask, is this who I am? Or is this who I have learned to believe I am? That question can change a lot, because the moment you recognize the script, you don't have to follow the next line. Exactly. The moment you know that this is what is coming next into your mind, you don't have to follow it. You don't need to become a completely different person overnight. It doesn't even happen like that. It's not magical. You simply need to stop rehearsing and hold identity. So, and this wraps up the whole identity series. We've come full circle. The mirror was cracked. Then we discovered the voice behind the reflection. And now we've discovered the story beneath the voice. So let me leave you with this. You're not the disappointment. You're not your worst mistake. You're not the rejection you experienced. You're not the person someone else decided you were. You are not the character you've been performing just to be accepted, loved, or understood. You are more than the story you've been telling yourself. So take off the costume, walk off the stage, let the old character take its final bow. And tomorrow, don't walk back onto the stage looking for another role. Walk into your life as yourself, not the reputation, not the reflection, not the voice, not the whole script. Just you, finally, fully, on purpose. Because the greatest part of becoming who you really want to become is realizing that you don't have to become someone else. You just have to stop rehearsing, practicing who you were never meant to be in the first place. Now go live like you know who you are and keep growing. In the meantime, think and grow and share this video.